So I'm here at the Bustamante show, and I'm speaking to Suzanne Fox. Now I understand that you went sort of back southeast, and you did a show that you've never done before. What was the name of that show?
Well, that's the Marburger show.
That's the Marburger show.
At Round Top.
Oh, it's
Round Top is the champ.
I see.
It's this huge area in Texas, out in the middle of nowhere, where there are probably 10 or 12 different shows going on, and they all overlap each other. The whole experience lasts for at least 3 weeks.
So it's kind of like a Texas Brimfield, kind of.
It is, but it's probably a little tiny bit more, it's a little less flea markety, a little bit more.
So it's more of an upscale.
A little tiny bit, yeah.
I see. And what kind of things were you doing well selling there?
I did particularly well with Victorian cast iron.
Victorian cast iron.
Thing.
You mean like this thing right here?
Statuary.
Is this the kind of thing that you did reasonably well with?
Yes.
So something like this, I would say, I don't know, where it's about 9 ounces or so, or how much would you say that this would weigh?
Probably about 75 pounds.
About 75 pounds.
Yeah.
Now, did you sell?
The same as what I weigh.
About the same as what you weigh. This thing is awful anorexic. And so how many of these kind of things did you sell?
I think I sold 9 cast iron urns the first few hours of the show on opening day.
Now, is it that you had no competition, that no one else brought, I don't know, 1,000 pounds of these things there?
I think that there were other dealers who may have had some, but mine were complete. They were matched original pairs with handles, and I had particularly beautiful ones. So I think I could confidently say I had the best ones on the field. And
now, is this a little unusual? Aren't you famous for Staffordshire?
Well, I love that. Definitely, but there's something really appealing about this iron and the paint, and I love these as well.
I see. And so this is your more rustic side.
Yeah, my more romantic side, perhaps. And I do, when I do like a Redondo Beach show, I usually also do a big garden statement. So certain shows lend themselves more to that sort of thing. And certain seasons also, they sell well in the spring.
How about the country show? I know that you've started doing that. Are you likely to do the next country show in February?
I would love to. I haven't looked at my calendar yet to figure out what I'm going to be able to fit in. But I love that show, and Tom Baker's great. Tom Baker's great.
Well, I've never heard anyone say anything to the contrary. Look what we found here. We found a couple little Staffordshire watchdogs.
We do, and those happen to be housebroken.
Oh, these are housebroken.
And they're for sale.
They're for sale. And so about how old would you say they are?
About 1870.
About 1870.
About the same age as you.
And older than that. I'm like Dorian Gray. And well, the illustration of me stays the same, but I change. So I was wondering about how much it would cost to buy those things.
About $450 for the pair.
Now I was wondering, when you see those kind of things, I mean, those look just in such pristine condition. Do people ever say, well, how do we know that those things go back 140 years, because they look like they were just made yesterday? What do you tell people?
Well, you have to be careful because there are reproductions out there. So buy from someone you trust.
And what is there something about the thing that they would know by looking at the thing, whether it was made yesterday or 140 years ago?
There are things that you need to learn.
Is there just one thing you could tell?
Well, no, there's several things.
Oh, is there a couple?
So you need to be somewhat astute. You need to, really feel the weight. You need to look for
the older,
the bottom.
When you feel the weight, are the older ones heavier or lighter?
There's a certain feel. Some of the brand new ones that are made in China have been made extra heavy to kind of fool you. They're alarmingly heavy. These are a little bit more appropriately heavy to their size.
I see.
If there's a little bit of crazing, it will be a little bit uneven and patchy.
Appropriately heavy to their size. So what you're saying, so back then when they made that, it made sense that it would weigh that much.
Well, yeah, because the clay has rather a thick, it's a rather thickly molded figure.
I see.
But the ones that are made in China now, almost feel like they're solid.
I see.
You pick them up and it's surprising. they also feel terrible, and they're sort of gray looking, and then they're crazed, but they're crazed entirely evenly over the whole body of the figure, as opposed to maybe just a little patch of a little crazing or toning in one area, and then it fades to a white in another area, and it's not crazed there. The Chinese reproductions will be crazed everywhere.
I see.
And there's some particularly figures that they did prolifically in China that are flooding the market.
Like what?
Well, dogs primarily, and dogs on barrels. A lot of the spaniels that are reproductions, their snouts are too long. They kind of poke out too far, and they're not as attractive. But if you buy from a dealer who's knowledgeable and can give you a little bit of education about it, and you really pay attention and are a careful shopper, you shouldn't have any problem. And buy at reputable shops.